Well, Patrick, last time you were up here, and we're not even going to talk about it this time because you talked about it the whole time, but Patrick had a mishap, and he was a good sport about it, and we played a bunch of videos watching it. I'm sure y'all have all heard by now, so we're not even going to mention it. That's it's old news now, isn't it?
It
seems like a year ago that
it's not
happened.
Old news. It does seem like it was a long time ago, but I told them last night on the MGM stage that just to clarify and clear things up so they'd all quit looking at each other and whispering, I would go ahead and let them know that, yes, I am the guy that got bucked off in the grand entry. So.
He is the guy. And it wasn't really the grand entry. When you think of grand entry, there's a lot of horses in there, but you were the only guy in the arena, weren't you?
I was the only guy in the arena. And, and still, like I told them last night, I don't understand why it's a big deal. There's professionals getting bucked off in there all night long.
That's right. That's
what they do for a living, and they're getting bucked off. I guess it's just the timing of it.
You're a great horseman, and we're not used to seeing you on the ground, I think.
Just to let you know, that was my debut and retirement all in one run.
Oh, you got it all. You got it all out of the way.
Yes, sir.
Well, good. How are you doing out here in Las Vegas? I know you're busy during the days. What's your daily schedule look like?
Daily schedule this year has been really busy with the release of the new DVD. We're doing a lot with it, and also autograph signings. I've been kind of running back and forth between here at the MGM and NRS Experience, and then on over to the Sands, the Convention Center, Mandalay Bay. We're kind of running around. Then today is the big autograph signing at 2 o'clock at the MGM, where all the MGM endorsees sign through from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So that's sure enough a busy 2 hours there as well.
What's that, just in the lobby there? Where do
right
in
the main lobby where the Lion is. If you walk in the main doors, it's, like I said, Trevor, Tuff Cooper, Cliff Cooper, Fred Whitfield, I mean, Cody O. The list goes on and on of all the guys that stay at the MGM, and every one of us will be there signing autographs from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock today.
Perfect, perfect. Who you roping with out here? What's your partner's name?
Trevor Brazil.
Trevor Brazil. That's right.
Yeah, he's kind of a rookie. I'm leading him through.
I couldn't remember his name.
But we've had a good week. You know, last night we had a little mishap. We had a steer that ran really hard, and Trevor roped him and lost his head rope. And I'm getting a lot of questions as to what that's doing to our game plan and what that does to the average race, and what about these guys and these guys. And, you know, our answer to that is we can't control what anybody else does. We can only control what we do. And, of course, any time that you're trying to win on every steer, you're going to have some mistakes here and there. And our game plan is not going to change. We're going to try to win these next three nights. That's the one thing about Vegas. It's a lot can happen in 3 nights.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, it looked like that the team roping, it was starting off real slow, just kind of sloppy, and guys were having trouble. You know, it's the best 15 teams in the world. And it looks like everybody's kind of getting tapped off now a little bit.
You know, anytime you get to going through the week, that last night was the 3rd time that set of steers got roped, and you kind of get a history on the cattle. When we go to the arena, we don't just ride in there and rope the steer that's in the chute. We go an hour and a half before the rodeo, find out what steer that we have, go back and watch. When we roped him the Tuesday before the finals started, we roped him twice. We watched the video of him going both times then. Watch him when he went in the rodeo the first time, when he went in the rodeo the second time. So we kind of get a history on the steer and know exactly, you know, what his pattern is and what he's going to do. And that's half the battle, is knowing what your steer does, and then just going and executing and making the run that night.
Right, sure. And you don't find out what steer you drew until, what, an hour before the rodeo or something?
An hour and a half before, yes, sir.
And so y'all, as soon as you find out, y'all head to the trailer and start watching videos.
We head to the trailer and watch videos. My wife has videoed every night with the camera, and as soon as we find out, we get on that video camera and kind of get a game plan for the night.
On the steers that you've drew and the steers that you had video, percentage-wise or something, how accurate do those steers do the same thing? I mean, y'all's videos is, what, 6 days old now, 7 days old? I mean, y'all videoed, what, 2 days before the rodeo or so?
Right. It's actually very accurate as far as, it's amazing how horses and steers are all creatures of habit, just like we are. They get into a habit. You know, if one steer, the steer I had last night, was supposed to run really hard and kind of step off to the right, and that's a really hard shot for a header. So my game plan was to jump out there and be beside him and give me a haze to where I could hold him straight for Trevor. And they tend to want to do the same thing. That's why there's some steers that are really good and some steers that aren't so good. So
are you ever coming down the arena and just kind of waiting, you know, just seeing, or is it all happening too fast? You just got to get out there.
Yeah, here it happens fast. It's more about reaction. That's why we spend the last, 6 weeks preparing for the NFR, because when you get in there and the crowd and the hype and all the stuff going on, it's hard to just really, you've seen some 3.5 and 3.7 second runs this week, and I don't know about as a header, but as a healer, there can't be a whole lot of thought process going into 3 seconds. So we just try to react and do our job.
I know the headers come out of the box swinging. You know, as far as a healer at this setup, you've got to get it on your mind pretty quick to be ready, don't you?
You do. Like I said, 3 and 4 seconds is not very long at all. When you're talking about 2 horses, a steer, and 2 guys, you better all be on the same page pretty quick. So I just try to get going as soon as Trevor does, and if not sooner.
Yeah.
I watch him nod so that when he nods, I can be going and get out there and get my rope up and swing as fast as I can.
And, too, as far as heeling goes and hazing those steers, like you were talking about, one moving to the right, it's the worst thing for a header. I guess a horse naturally, a heading horse, doesn't go to the right, very good, right?
Well, here it's kind of a catch-22 because the right is hard on the header and the left is hard on both of us. So if they can stay right in the middle, it makes it easier. The left wall is so close here that you don't want to overhaze and step them over there, because if you do that, even if you make a good run, you're not going to be fast enough to win any money, most likely.
Right.
And out in the middle is what we're looking for.
Right, sure.
That's our goal.
And I know you want to be a 3-5 every time, but I notice there's a lot of steers that break slow, and it takes a long time for the run to set up, but it's a fast run. Is it easier for you for that run, or one that breaks hard down the middle and it's kind of happening faster? What do you prefer?
Again, that's kind of more of a header's side. As far as I know, Trevor, personally, what he likes is for them just to leave.
Right.
If they leave and run, then it takes the guessing out of the score, and he knows that when he nods and that steer starts to leave, he can get going. Whenever they leave really slow is a really touchy situation as far as getting out of the barrier and getting a good go at the steer, because if you pull too much and then the steer leaves slow and then picks up, you're beat and he's out there too far to rope.
Right.
Or if you don't pull enough, you break the barrier. So I think when they leave, they're pretty good. It's a little easier read for everybody.
Right. I know a lot of team ropers, at a number 9 jackpot, it seems like it's the slower steers are harder to rope, it seems like. Is that a mental thing, or are they truly harder to rope?
No, sometimes they are harder to rope, especially like tonight at the rodeo. Whenever something's happening fast, when a steer is running, as short as the score is here and as fast as headers and heelers are throwing, it's actually easier to be fast on a steer that's a little snappier.
Right.
Where if they're really slow, it just kind of takes a minute for the run to set up.
Right, sure. Well, we're going to talk about this for a second, but you're a fastback rope guy, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Good deal. Al Benson and the folks, they've got a good product over there.
Al and Robin, they're out here.
Yeah.
They've done good. They've taken good care of me for almost 10 years now. I've been with them that long. And this green rope down here, this is the Mach 4. It's what I've been using all throughout the year. I like it. The Ultimate 4, the Red Line, those guys have just done a great job of staying at the top of the game and staying competitive with the other companies out there. And I've kind of swung through a lot of different ropes, and they're definitely the rope of my choice. I've used them for a long time for a reason. Yeah,
and in case folks don't know, y'all don't just use those ropes because they approached y'all and said, hey, we want you to use your rope. You use those because those are
that's the ones we like. That's right. I got the feel of all the other ones too, and this is the one that I chose, and they've been very good for me.
Right. I've noticed maybe last year you were using a Red Line, weren't you?
I used the Red Line throughout the year quite a bit. I think I used the Ultimate 4 at the National Finals last year.
I see.
I like all 3 of them. I go back and forth using them depending on the weather.
Right.
The weather's been so mild out here this year for the winter. I've been here when it's been snowing before.
Sure, absolutely.
Anytime it's about 60 to 70 degrees, that's what we call perfect rope weather. They feel as good as they can feel. And some of the ropes, I like the Red Line when it's a little hotter. I like the blue rope, the blue Ultimate 4 when it's colder, and I like the Mach 4 when it's right in the middle. So.
I see. So weather's the main deal. I know, sometimes just using ropes, if I'm not roping real good, I may just change, just change a rope to change something up.
Weather can definitely make a big difference in the rope. I mean, guys don't realize if I leave Texas and it's 100 degrees and fly to California and it's 70 degrees, the rope, the way it felt at home, it won't feel the same when you get out there. So it is important to take care of them and keep them, not just throw them somewhere where they just bake out in the sun.
Right.
There's not a rope out there that if you leave it laying in the sun in 90-degree weather that it's going to feel very good.
It's not going to be good.
Right.
Do you have any tips on, we try to make a rope last as long as possible.
Right.
And, if you're practicing a lot, do you have any tips on whether you're, don't let them drag or this and that? How do you make a rope last a long time?
Well, obviously, the more you let a rope drag through the sand or the dirt in the arena, the more wear and tear you're going to get on it. The more you dally with it, the more wear and tear. the importance to me is breaking them in correctly, running 2 or 3 steers with a brand new rope and then putting it up. You don't want to just go to dallying over and over and over on a brand new rope, because they have a memory to them and they go back the way that they were. I like to rope 2 or 3 steers and get a good stretch on the rope and then lay it down and you know, not even coil it up that small, kind of leave it in some bigger coils and let it lay there and kind of go back to its original coiled up shape, and that really helps the ropes a lot.
Right, so maybe it's a good idea when you purchase a rope to go ahead and get 3 of them, get 2 or 3 runs on each one of them, and then go back to using the first one.
You see a lot of guys go buy one brand new rope and they'll go to the practice pen, run 20 steers, and then wonder why it doesn't feel as good when they get to the roping arena. But yeah, it's definitely important to take good care of them. They're the tools that we use, and we want to take care of them.
I got you. You've got a new video out.
I do. I got a new DVD. This is something I'm really excited about. It's called Driven. It's a roping instructional / mental preparation, and also got a small life story side to it. It's got some interviews, a lot of really cool angles and shots. We're going to maybe watch the
we've
clip
got
right here.
a promo up here, everybody. Let's watch this for a sec. Crank her up there, Adam. I'm already fired up.
This is something that we started filming about 8 or 9 weeks ago now. Spent a lot of time on it. I love all the other guys' roping videos out there, but what I felt like is it was time for, I thought technology had kind of caught up to us, and it was time to use some new camera shots and angles and slow motion, and we're able to explain some things and show them to you a way that they've never been seen before, some angles and stuff like that we're really excited about. As you watch towards the end of this promo, you'll see some angles and shots that I'm talking about.
Right. This is at your place, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Where this was filmed?
But anyway, that's we're getting a lot of good feedback off of it. Like I said, we worked really hard on it with some the guy that did the video, TJ, he did an outstanding job video, and we've got a lot of really neat slow-mo shots, and they're able to show you hand position and left hand position, and how to, and we start from how to hold your rope, how to swing your rope, how to deliver your rope, all of it, and then go through what we call the 6 steps to consistency. We talk about timing. We talk about from the time you leave the box until you dally around the saddle horn and finish the run, and it's a really in-depth teaching. Also, we have a lot of fun stuff to it. It's got just rodeo runs of my wife, Christy, videoed for the last couple of years of me and Trevor, and we've got like 85 runs back-to-back from around the country. We've got practice runs. It's like 100 runs with music over the top of it. So it's a lot of fun. It's over an hour and a half long of just team roping. If you like team roping, I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, it's the one for you. What? How many different headers did you have come in for that?
You know, I live in Lipan, Texas, which is kind of right in the heart of all the team ropers, it seems like, and I'm surrounded by good headers, but there's a lot of Trevor on there, obviously. Luke Brown, which is one of my really good friends that I rope with all the time. Clay Trine.
Right.
Those 3 guys I know are on there. And, there's definitely some good team roping on there.
Right, sure. So you don't just, what's a practice routine? You know, you're at the house, and do you, I guess you don't always practice with just Trevor.
No, you know, we live about an hour and 15 minutes apart. Luke Brown and I live about 10 minutes apart.
Yeah.
As long as we're all working on our deal.
Right,
and,
sure.
You know, I know Trevor's working on his heading, and I'm working on my heeling, and we've roped together so long we kind of know what each other's going to do anyway. So it makes it easy for us just to kind of stick around the house and get good practice. And it's good to have guys like Luke Brown. He's made the NFR, you know, 5 or 6 times now, I know, and he loves team roping. I'm telling you, that guy will head more steers than anybody I've ever seen. I'm the same way. I've been doing this for a long time, and I still just love to team rope, so we practice a lot.
Yeah. Do you have young horses and that kind of deal that you're working on?
I do have some young horses. As you guys saw Thursday night, if they buck, I'm not a very big fan of them. But I try to let somebody get them through all those stages. Yeah. And then I've got a 4-year-old and a couple of 5-year-olds. And all of the horses that I'm riding, other than my good horse Amigo, he's 12 years old out here, or anywhere from 6 to 9 years old, something like that.
Sure. Did Amigo, did you raise him, or did you buy him?
No, I didn't raise him. I bought him from a friend of mine in South Texas. Conley Donnell was his name, and he did a good job training him. I bought him when he was 5 years old. I've had him for almost 8 years now, and that horse has just been an amazing horse. He actually had knee surgery in October of 2011, and was able to ride him at last year's NFR.
Right.
And then he had like 6 months off. They wanted to go ahead and let him fully recover. He was doing better even after the NFR, but he took 6 months off and didn't come back till late in the summer this year. And he's not lost a step at all. That horse has been he's like one of my best friends. He's taken really good care of me.
I imagine. You haven't been roping all your life, have you? Like
I haven't,
guys.
and there's a lot of stories and rumors about how I got started and stuff like that, and that's another thing that I cover in the video. We've got a small section, the life story part of it is actually how I got started. I was 16 years old when I started to ride and rope, and
which that's kind of late, for your accomplishments. Most people, to do what you're doing, they started when they're 8 or 6. You know what I mean?
Well, that's true, and then again, that goes back to, like I told you, I love it so much that in those years that from the time I was 16 till I was 22 years old, I probably roped as many or more steers as those guys that did start when they were 3 or 4 years old, because, man, I was addicted to it. I loved it. I roped a goat, roped a steer, whatever I could get my hands on. I would chase my little dog around and rope him. I used to make my wife, when we first got married, we'd get pizza, and she'd hold a piece of pizza across the room, make my dog run across the room, I'd chase him and rope him. So I just love to team rope, and that's something I spent a lot of time doing for sure.
How'd all that start? This all started in Midland, Texas, didn't it?
Midland, Texas is where I grew up, yes sir, and went to church and school with some friends that team roped, and they're on the video as well, interviewing them, and I started taking riding lessons from her, and then her husband also started teaching me how to rope. They wouldn't let me rope a steer. I had to rope the dummy and ride the horse. They made me do it one piece at a time. But excellent teachers, and I owe a lot of my success to them.
Yeah, and in your opinion, somebody starting out team roping, that's what they need to do, ride the process, learn to rope on the ground, ride a horse?
Well, even since I've been started, the technology has come so far as everything, ropes, horses, training machines. I'm endorsed, and I endorsed the Time Machine, which is the new 4-legged roping dummy. Yeah. And if I'd have had one of those when I was 16 years old, I can't imagine how much easier.
You might have been a world champion, huh?
That's right. It just makes things easier. Right. So there are no secrets to success. It's whoever works the hardest is gonna, you get out of it what you put into it.
Right. Sure. Well, Patrick, I'm not going to keep you all day long. I know you've got a busy schedule, but I know you're proud of that video, and congratulations on that video.
Thank you very much.
And if somebody goes and grabs one real quick and purchase it, will you sign it over here for them?
Yeah, they actually brought some up here. If anybody's interested, they are on sale right now until Saturday, through Saturday.
All right.
We're doing an NFR special. They're $49.99 today, and then they're going to go to $59.99 starting Sunday. So it's a great Christmas present if you got somebody that ropes or kids that rope or something like that. And they brought some up. If any of you guys are interested in buying one, just run up here right after this, and I'll be willing to sign it for you. Like I said, makes a great Christmas present. And I hope you guys are enjoying the rodeo. I know we've had a great time this week. Trevor and I have. This is one of the – we look forward to Vegas, obviously, because of the money and the rodeo, but it's a good time for us to come out here and visit with fans and family. And
I'm glad you mentioned that, man, because it seems like rodeo, in football all the time you hear them say, we can't do it without the fans. But it seems like you and Trevor always see y'all talking to somebody, whether somebody missed, one of y'all missed, somebody broke out, it seems like, y'all are always visiting.
This is a good time. Like I said, everybody asks us if we get wore out. We really don't.
Right.
I mean, by the time it's over, we are ready to go home, just like anytime you spend 2.5 weeks in Vegas, it'll take its toll on you. But we enjoy coming out here. This is a fun place to be.
Sure. Well, thank y'all for being the way you are and what you've done for team roping. Thanks for being on this show, man. I appreciate it. Y'all are heroes of mine. And y'all give a hand to my friend, world champion Patrick Smith.
Thank you, guys.